Bushwick Bill is he is he was a he was part of the big gangster rap movement back in the late 80s and early 90s. He was part of a rap group called Ghetto Boys, the Ghetto Boys. He had a song called My Mind's Playing Tricks on Me.
I don't even know where to start with this guy. He's been
Here's
dropping
Bushwick Bill.
crazy songs and amazing stuff for the longest time. Everything from the Ghetto Boys. Now he's on tour right now for Bushwick
Here
Bill
we go.
and Friends. Give it up for Bushwick Bill, everybody.
This is some old school stuff, guys. So that is Bushwick Bill right there. Oh, just wait. It gets good.
Oh, he was about to go in a little bit.
Oh,
Bushwick
yeah.
Bill, everybody. Man,
This is my
I mean,
late night
if you're
show.
feeling the music, I mean, go ahead, do your thing, man.
Man,
Hey,
we'll continue
hey,
then.
the fix.
Damn it.
Give him something. Give him a little something real quick. Just give him a little something.
Oh,
Go ahead,
this
man.
is very real. Here we go. Yep. Okay. That's as much as I'm going to give y'all, okay? That's all I'm going to give y'all. So, just so you can see what I'm talking about, that is Bushwick Bill, okay? Bushwick Bill was part of a really big group back in the day called the Ghetto Boys, all right? So, I was just starting my talk show. And I was doing a late night show at that time, or the version of this show was much bigger than this little room, okay? Obviously, as you can see, I had a 12-piece band, I had a desk, I had a couch, we had a live audience, the whole design, okay? Like crazy. And we started, this was one of the time when I was starting to get some celebrities onto the show. Like at first, it was just all local people. You know, just like Joe Blow that that owns an ice cream shop around the corner, the whole nine, right? And I'm sitting there just hungry, trying so hard. I was trying so hard to get more celebrities on the show. I was scouring the earth, literally looking for anybody that was coming into St. Louis. I was desperate, trying to find people. And every once in a while, I would strike gold. Every once in a while, I'd get lucky and have somebody come onto the show. Now, I randomly got a text message from somebody saying, "Hey, bruh, I'm hosting a big party, and Bushwick Bill from the Ghetto Boys is going to be coming through in Illinois, but he's only going to be across the river, so you should have him on your show, and chop it up with him on the show." So I'm sitting there going like, Hell yeah. Absolutely. It's Bushwick Bill, Ghetto Boys. My mind's playing tricks on me. Come on now. It's a classic. It is a classic. Okay? So I'm sitting there going, yeah, that's a huge throwback. And I'm also doing this was right around the time when it was 314 Day. So I was already going to have a whole bunch of other St. Louis hip hop artists on the show to begin with. So it was going to be a whole bunch of very talented people under one roof. And I'm like, and then on top of that, have Bushwick Bill in the show? Man, this is going to be killer, right? Killer. So I hit the guy back up, and he's like, my boy Al, and he's sitting there going, yeah, man, he's going to be coming through. The only thing is that you just got to make sure he's not asking to get paid for his appearance. The only thing he asks is that you make sure that you hook him up with at least a motel that he can stay in at. And I said, bet that. Okay? So, I mean, it was almost too good to be true, right? I'm thinking in my head, I'm in this little tiny ass apartment all by myself, just going, man, wow, I'm about to have hip hop royalty, a legend sitting right next to me on my show. And I could not believe it. And all he wants is a motel room? Like a Motel 6? Not a hotel or Holiday Inn. He wants a motel? Bet that. This dude is amazing, right? So I find the city that he's going to be doing his performance at. I buy every last dollar I had because I invested so much into that late night show. I invested every dollar I had into that thing because I love doing what I do. And so I said, I only have a few bucks. I'm going to put this towards this motel. I'm going to find the cheapest motel I can find. So I called up a Motel 6. Real talk. I called up a Motel 6. He wanted 2 rooms. Suddenly he wanted 2 rooms. And I'm like, damn, come on. Okay, fine. Fine. You want 2 rooms? It's a Motel 6. Fine. I hit up the Motel 6. For some odd reason, they had some weird deal going on. So I bought the tickets. So I bought the rooms. And the dude's like, yeah, he's going to be coming in, all that, bop, bop, bop. And I'm terrified. I'm nervous as all get out. Why? Because I know that I've been put through the runaround and I've been put through the ringer a couple times with some of these artists and some of their managers. And they'll sit there and say, oh, yeah, he's coming through. He's going to be there. No doubt. He's going to be there. Don't worry about a thing. He's going to be there, bruh. And then they don't show up. So I was terrified, but I just put it out there on a whim and a prayer. So the day of the show shows up and I get a message from my boy who was the party, the party promoter. And he's like, yo, he still hasn't gotten in town yet. And this is it's about 4:00 in the afternoon. And we start shooting the show around 7:30-ish. 7:30, 8 o'clock is usually when we start going live. All right. And at this time, we weren't live, like streaming live or anything like that. We were just taping everything, So I'm sitting there going, it's fine. Even if I spent $88, which is what I spent on those 2 motel rooms, I sat there, I said, I'm going to get my $88 worth. Trust and believe. Trust and believe I'm going to get my $88 worth. So I was like, you know what? If he doesn't show up on time, we going to wait until his ass shows up. Okay? So hours go by. Finally, I get a text message from the guy again saying around 7 o'clock. It's 7 and we're getting things ready. Because I'm just sitting there going, because I already have all these other people, like the guy who basically produced the entire Nellyville or the Nellyville Country Grammar, all of Nelly's records was going to be in the house. You know what I'm saying? I had another hip hop artist named Tef Poe, who's a killer, he's a killer up and coming, just killer hip hop artist who flew in from Harvard. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to be in there sitting down with me, chopping it up. Right. So I can't I can't stop the show. I got to keep going. What sucks is that I put out on all over digital flyers, the whole 9, Bushwick Bill's face on this mug. So he's front and center. So everybody's sitting. I know for a fact that everybody's going to be going here expecting to see Bushwick Bill. So I'm sitting there going, man, this dude better show the F up. I was terrified, y'all. I'm trembling in my boots, if I had boots. And I'm sitting there going, man, I'm hoping he shows up. Next thing you know, it's 7:30 when he was supposed to be there by like 7. And I'm sitting there pacing back and forth. I don't know what to do. The other artists are there. They're respectful. They show up on time. This dude the party promoter finally comes in. He's like, yeah, man, he's just right around the corner. And you know for a fact that that's hood for he's 20 minutes away. Whenever somebody says, yeah, he's right around the corner, that's not really the truth, yo. If they say right around the corner, that's 20 minutes. When they say he's in the parking lot, that's 5 minutes. He's 5 minutes away, just so y'all know. Anyway, so I knew for a fact that I was going to have to hold out for a little bit longer, right? So I did. I said, you know what? If he's going to be here, he's going to be here. I've been screwed over plenty of times. So I'm sitting there going like, I'm going to wait until he shows up, until I see his face. So finally, 7:30 comes by. The party promoter finally comes up to me. He goes, yo, man, I got you. He's here. So I run out to the front and he's sitting there and he's like, what's up, man? You know what I mean? Now, the party promoter's like, yo, just to give you a heads up, man. Hey, bruh, just so you know, dog. So he's been like sipping on some Glenlivet this entire time, yo. So this entire time he was driving here, he was getting his ride in here, he's been sipping on that Glenlivet. He just finished a bottle. But y'all got some Glenlivet up in this piece? I'm like, yeah, we got Glenlivet. Yeah, we got Glenlivet. Sure. He's like, yeah, man, he's here. I shook his hand. I got to meet him. He's like, yeah, man, I'm just going to go back into the car. You know what I'm saying? Just let me know. Bop, bop, bop. And I'm like, yo, we got the Glenlivet. We got the things. We got things for you if you need it. Nah. So we start doing the show. I start getting my guests on. We're starting to do our thing. And during one of the breaks, he finally comes in. And of course, there's a lot of people in the room that want to see Bushwick Bill. Everybody came to see Bushwick Bill. Come on now. What do you expect? It's Bushwick Bill. So everybody's going up, trying to get photos, the whole nine. And I'm just trying to push people off, trying to tell people to chill. They're all trying to get selfies and photos and all that stuff. And they're getting their thing. They're getting it in. They're getting what they want, for sure. That's not a problem. But he comes to me and he's like, yo, so you still got that Glenlivet at the bar? And the owner, the manager of the bar was like, yeah, man, hey, yeah, no problem. Hey, here you go. And he literally starts drinking at the bar, just chilling in the back at the bar, reeking of weed, hanging out. Finally, it's his time to come onto the show. This dude polished off 2 bottles of Glenlivet, all by his self. 2 full bottles of Glenlivet, all by his self. And you know how tall he is. So he came onto the show drunk as hell. So he goes up here. He starts talking all this stuff. And obviously, 1, I'm nervous. 2, I'm excited. 3, I'm going, oh my God, he's drunk. And he's probably high as a mug. And I'm going, man, I really, really, really need to steer this interview. It did not go where I wanted it to go. In fact, it completely went south. He took over the entire stage. He took over the entire interview. Any question that I had for him, he would just spin off. He was flying off into Jupiter, man. He was off into Pluto. He was on another level, man. He was so drunk and so high. So when you see that intro that I just showed you, that's how drunk and high he was. He was gone. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. He said some really amazingly, he dropped some gems in that interview. All right? He said some really dope stuff. But that's not where I expected the interview to go. It went completely sideways into something completely different. And like I said, the entire time I was trying to have a conversation with him, he kept spinning it to something else. It basically turned into the Bushwick Bill show. for a solid 30 minutes. So, when you go and see the interview, look at it again. Whenever you get a chance to watch the interview, you will see for yourself how drunk Bushwick Bill was. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. I'm not here bashing him at all. He was amazing. He was a very good, kind, humble dude. He was just really, really drunk. And the conversation I had with him ended up being good. I was able to get his attention and steer it back into the questions that I actually had, because I really wanted to know who he was and where he came from and how he grew up and all that. I didn't want to know anything about I didn't want to get into detail about him getting shot and all that stuff. Like, everyone already knows that stuff, but nobody really knew who he was and what makes him tick and why he's here and why he went with Bushwick, why he calls himself Bushwick Bill and all that stuff, how the group got together, the whole nine. So I finally got to those questions later on in the interview, but in the very beginning, he just was like some wild horse, just drunk and high, But it ended up being one of the most amazing conversations with a drunk person I've ever had in my whole entire life. You know what I'm saying? So you'll see the interview. Go check it out. It's quite an interesting interview. Go check it out. It is interesting as all get out. But I got to be real. I was nervous as all get out. Nervous that he wasn't going to show up. Then when he showed up, I was nervous that I was going to have the interview. But then at the same time, I was nervous that he was too drunk to actually participate in the conversation. He held his own, but he was drunk as hell. 2 bottles of Glenlivet. And I don't know how many blunts he smoked. Dude was high. Like high. Okay? He was feeling good. And then after that, after the interview, he still wanted to go kick it. So that he still went out, kicked it, and then went and recorded music at a studio later on that same damn night. That is a rock star. That man was a rock star. Okay? Anyway, that's my story with Bushwick Bill. Man, it's a shame that he's gone. Like I said, I sometimes go back and watch. I sometimes will go back and watch that interview because it was just one of the coolest moments I've ever had with a celebrity. And regardless of how drunk he was always so damn cool. So, here's the Bushwick Bill. May he rest in heaven. And that's my story behind my interview with Bushwick Bill. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.